So this is going to be a moving meditation or a mindful movement class combining yoga and meditation and breath and awareness. So it's going to be focused on a rectangle breath, and many of you are probably familiar with the square breath. So a square breath is, where we even out the four parts of the breath like a square. You can imagine you're drawing a square with your breath. So you might inhale for about 4 or 5 seconds, contain that breath 4 or 5, exhale 4 or 5, hold the breath out 4 or 5. But what I found is that can create agitation for a lot of people holding the breath that long. So I tend to prefer teaching the rectangle breath and doing the rectangle breath myself. So, and that is just, we're going to do probably a 5-second inhale, a hold for 2, 5-second exhale, and a hold out for 2. So we'll establish that first and then add movement to it and make really just a whole, 30 minutes of mindful movement focused on the rectangle breath. Just want to say a couple things. First of all, it's a wonderful practice in and of itself to just do this breath meditation of the rectangle breath. Play around with it, use it when needed, when we need to just really kind of pull in and calm ourselves and get out of our heads a little bit. Another thing I wanted to say is if there's any agitation at all, adjust the breathing rhythm to suit you. Don't follow me if it's not feeling right. And or just, forget the focus on the breath if it's feeling too agitating. So let's establish the breath before we add the movement. So close your eyes and just imagine with your mind's eye, this rectangle in front of you. And I want you just to first notice your natural rhythm, your natural breathing rhythm. And we begin with an exhale, so fully empty. And then tracing that rectangle with your mind's eye. Inhale up one side, 5 seconds. Hold 2. Exhale down the other side, 5. Hold 2. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. So take a pause and just notice how that rhythm felt in your body. Make adjustments throughout the class if you know you needed more or fewer breaths. So we're going to start to add some movement now. So we'll start with our arms, kind of like upside down V's, palms facing front, slight external rotation in the arms. We're going to do some sun breaths. Sun breaths are very simply, we inhale the arms up and exhale the arms down, but we're going to add that rectangular rhythm to it. So exhaling first, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause here. We'll do some lateral bends. Again, continuing this rectangular breath. So for lateral bends, we're going to inhale one arm straight up, and then we exhale arcing to a side. When you arc to a side, make sure that you're supporting the back with your core and keep your hips down. And then when we inhale again, we switch sides. One arm reaches up, exhale arcing to a side. So we'll do that, adding the rectangular rhythm, breath meditation to it. So we'll start with the left arm. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. One more complete cycle on your own without me counting. Find your way back to center. We're going to do twists, open twists, so wide open twists with that same type of breath awareness, the rectangular breathing rhythm. But first I want to just set up the type of twist we're going to do. So instead of doing the typical twist where we cross a hand to an opposite knee, that tends to make us round spine and shoulders quite a bit. We're going to do a wide open twist. The back of the wrist presses into the inside of the same side knee, so the spine can stay nice and tall. I forgot to mention I'm sitting on blocks to get my hips a little taller. That's a really good idea. You can also do this sitting in a chair. So when we do this, we'll inhale up the front, our 5, and we exhale, wide open twist to a side, and then we pause in those 2 seconds in the twist, and then we come back to center, and that same movement. So whichever side you want to begin, completely up to you. But first, let's exhale. Inhale, arms, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time each side on your own. Slowly back to center. Take a moment to just notice how you feel. Roll the shoulders up the front and down the back. So we're going to shift to a table posture. So on hands and knees, if that bothers your knees, you can adjust and do this from a standing position with your hands on a chair or a table. I'm going to turn so that you can see me better. If you need more padding under the knees, by all means put a blanket under there. And I have blocks here just to show you if it's difficult for you to have such deep flexion in your wrists for whatever reason, modify by resting your forearms just like this on the second height of your blocks. So we start off in a table pose, and then extend the right leg, so tuck the toes under. So you're lifting the right knee. And we're just gonna spend a moment here getting a nice little calf stretch. So just notice how that feels in your calf. What happens when we do this pose often is we compensate by bringing the shoulders up to the ears out in front. We don't wanna do that. We wanna compress the neck. Send the shoulders back in the same direction as your heel. So shoulders and heel are reaching down to the floor behind you. Couple of breaths here, and then we're going to land that right foot on the floor, and it's going to be a bit of a balance pose. So decide, you're going to make an adjustment in a moment as you lift the right arm and bring the right hand behind your head so the elbow's pointing up, and now the balance starts to become more apparent. So what you can do is bring that right foot out in front more for easier balance, or for harder balance, bring it back right behind the other foot. I'm going to go somewhere in between. Lots of options here, infinite settings in every yoga pose. So here we have inhale with the elbow up, and we have exhale with the elbow down. We're going to do that same breathing rhythm. So whenever you're ready, let's start with the elbow up. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause, 2, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, 2, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just stay here and extend your upper arm out over the head, palm down, pull your belly in, and just maybe you can do a little bit of spinning the heart up towards the sky. Keep rooting your right foot into the ground. Breathe. Float that hand back down. Return to table. And just for a moment, we're going to come into child's pose. So child's pose with hips to heels, arms out in front, or to modify and not have so much flexion in the knees, keep the hips above the knees, and you can come onto forearms. If you're in full child's pose, you might want to bring prayer hands together and then rotate onto the backs of the hands and bring the hands behind your neck to release wrist tension. Lower the hands back down and lift up, and we'll do the other side. I'll turn so you can see on the other side. So now the left leg is extended, and we start off with just that calf stretch. So reaching that heel towards the floor behind you, sending the shoulders back with the heel. Notice if there's a little stiffness around the calf. We notice without judgment. Notice just with curiosity. And then plant that left foot. So you decide right behind the other foot, or off to the side, or somewhere in between. And the left arm comes up, hand behind the head. So inhales with the elbow up, exhale, elbow down. When you're ready, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, pause, 2, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, stay here, extend the arm out over your head, palm down, pull the belly in to support the spine, possibly a little bit of spiraling the heart upward. Make sure you're breathing, not holding your breath. Float the hands both back to the floor into table pose, and then once again, child's pose. modified child's or full child's. And again, I think it's great to release wrist tension by reverse prayer hands behind the neck. And just a couple of natural breaths here. Lower the arms when you're ready. Lifting back up. So we're going to come to seated for a moment, and what I want you to do is take care of yourself. If you have no knee concerns whatsoever, you might be able to cross your ankles and sit behind them and then bring your legs out in front. Or we're going to come into a butterfly pose. Soles together, knees wide, completely up to you. Infinite settings. Where do your feet need to be? You can even sit up on some support as needed. So we're going to do something I call cat-cow butterfly, which is just a funny image. But so while we're in butterfly, we're going to do cat-cow with the 5-2-5-2. Exhale first. And then we inhale, bringing the heart forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2. Exhale, cat. 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2. Do a couple more on your own. Next time that you come forward, we'll lift the knees, use your hands to help the knees lift. And we're going to come up to standing. So what I want you to do is, of course, take care of your own body. Come up any way that you would like. I like to come up through down dog. That's okay for your shoulders. Tuck the toes under and lift the knees and do a little bit of down dog play, pedaling the heels or possibly circling the hips. Both directions. If we notice some stiffness, some tightness, something talking to us, we just honor that. Notice it without judgment. We'll bring the feet as wide as the mat, walk the hands towards the feet, bend the knees if you need to keep the spine nice and long, and hang in ragdoll for a moment. Make sure you're not holding the breath. Hands to the hips, scoop the spine up. We're going to step the feet beneath the hips and do something that I call French press breaths. So our hands are going to become like a French press that presses your tea or your coffee down. And as you do that, you'll bend the knees. And then when you inhale, we bring the arms up as if you were in a moment of praise or celebration, whichever works for you. And then we're going to do this with our 5-second inhale, exhale, and the 2-second holds. So let's begin first just standing in mountain pose. And I want to mention what's really nice in this movement is to imagine as though when you're exhaling, you're kind of pressing down into the earth, trying to push away something that we don't need anymore, something that's not serving you, that you're still holding on to, you want to let go of. Let's kind of make it an intentional breath by releasing what we don't need. And when we inhale arms up, we're inviting in what we do need. So add that little intention if it's not too much to coordinate all that. Exhale here. And we'll inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 2. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. hold 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue on your own without me counting, and try and change which hand is on top, so you're not always doing the same one each time. Inviting in and releasing, surrendering, letting go of what we don't need. After your next inhale up, let's stay here. And we're going to bring our legs wide. So if the hamstrings really talk to you and they're tight and they're pulling down on your pelvis, what you're going to want to do is bend your knees and have your toes go wider. If that's not the case, you can have straight knees and heels wider. So we'll inhale with our arms right out to the sides, and as we exhale, we're going to exhale into a twist with one arm folding behind the back and the other hand taps the opposite leg somewhere from hip to heel, completely up to you. And then we inhale, open back up, and we exhale, twist the other side. So incorporating the rectangle breath. So exhale here, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. One more time, each side on your own. Come back up to center. Now we're just going to come into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Again, knees bent as needed. Bring the arms behind your back. Keep the spine long as you come forward to your edge. If it feels okay to drop the head lower, then go ahead and do so. But sometimes that makes people dizzy, and then you want to get the head above the heart. If this feels okay, you might place your hands interlaced on the back of your neck, and the hands add a little bit of weight onto the head to decompress the cervical spine. And just some natural breathing here. And when you're ready, scoop the spine up and either step or jump the feet together. And we're going to lower down to the ground. I like to do it in a way that starts to utilize my core. Heels planted, hold one hand, and slowly lower down. As slowly as you possibly can. When you finally come all the way down to the ground, bend your knees. And we'll draw the knees up towards us and do some Apanasana. With the 5-second inhale, 5 exhale, 2-second hold. So rectangular breathing rhythm. When we exhale, we bring the knees in. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2. And continue this with your own counting. That adds a lot of your own awareness and your own focus, your own drishti into your practice. instead of just being guided and led. After your next inhale, let's just land the feet on the ground. Take a moment here. Let's cross the right knee on top of the left knee. We're going to do a cross knee twist. And if you've had a hip replacement or otherwise just have a lot of stiffness in your hips, when we bring the knees over to, so the right leg is on top, when we bring the legs over towards the left side, you might want to land your right foot on the floor like a kickstand. If it's okay for you to do a deeper twist, you might bring the knees all the way over towards the floor. Left hand supports the knees, scooch the left shoulder blade out to the side, and then possibly your right arm comes into a cactus position, and we turn the head to the right. A couple of nice natural breathing rhythms here, natural breaths. And then come slowly back up, uncross, and we'll do the other side. So crossing the left knee on top of the right, and again, use your foot like a kickstand as needed, or allow the knees to go all the way over towards the side. Right hand holds the left knee, scooch the right shoulder blade out to the side, cactus arm for the left arm, we look to the left. Natural breaths, nice, smooth, and sweet breaths. Come slowly back to center. Uncross the knees. We'll bring the knees up towards us and just circle the knees a couple of times in each direction, massaging the back of the pelvis into the floor and really moving mindfully. Feet lower down. So you're going to decide how you want your Shavasana pose to be today. Resting pose is a great option. Feet wide, knees rest on each other or towards each other, or the legs are completely long, a lot of space between the heels so that the legs aren't working so hard to hold you there. Hip flexors aren't overworking. And we're going to start off resting our fingertips on the diaphragm. So right at the very base of the rib cage, top of the abdominal cavity. And do a few rectangular breath meditations here. I'm not going to count. You do it on your own. Tracing that rectangle with your mind's eye. Come into full Shavasana, so tucking the shoulder blades under your back, palms face up to allow the shoulders to rest down. And stay here in deep relaxation pose for as long as you would like. If you want to stay here for a while, go ahead and turn the video off. If you're ready to come up, you'll bend the knees, feet to the floor, draw the knees into the chest, rock a bit sweetly side to side, and turn over onto a side and come up real slowly. Don't jar the nervous system. Come up to any seated posture that works for your body. We're going to do just one more rectangular breath. Inhale, arms up, 4, 5, hold, 2, exhale, down towards the heart, 1, 2. Namaste.